Good evening, everybody, and today we're going to be doing the practice and problem solving for analyzing percents of numbers. So let's begin. I'll do all the odd ones. Number 7 says a local little league has a total of 60 players, 80% of whom are right-handed. How many right-handed players are there? Looks like they've started somewhere in the middle here, so I'm going to start us at the beginning. The way I would set this up is I would know that I have 60 players on a team. That's going to be equal to 100% of the players. Now, I know out of the 100%, 80 of them are right-handed players, 80%. And I can turn 80% into a decimal by moving my decimal place 2 spaces over to the left. So I'll make this, see, that'll be 80% out of 100. Okay, which would be 0.8. So let's see. And now we're trying to find how many out of the 60. Well, this would tell me that this is going to be X. And this 100 here means this would be 80. And what we're trying to figure out is why they have times something on each side. And I'm thinking they went to the second step, which was where, since I'm dividing by 60 to get X alone, I have to multiply by 60. And whatever I do to one side, of course, I'll do to another. And now these will cancel each other out, leaving X alone. And well, 8 times 6 is 48. And since each of them have a 0 at the end of them, I know this is going to be 4,800. 4,800 divided by 100 is going to be 48. So that means 48 out of the 60 players will be right-handed. All right? And let's venture off to number 9 now. Let's see. Number 9 says, Meg is a veterinarian. In a given week, 50% of the 16 dogs she saw were boxers. Steve is also a veterinarian. In the same week, 7 of the 35 dogs he saw were boxers. All right. Each wants to record the part, the whole, and the percent. Okay. Does Meg need to find the part, the whole, or the percent? Well, in Meg's case, she has the percent. So that's 50%. It says of 16 dogs. So 16 will be the total amount of dogs. So that's the whole. So since she has the percent and the whole, she needs to find the part. Which right here. Meg knows the percent is 50%. And the whole is 16 dogs. So she needs to find the part, which will be let's see, the number of boxers she saw. Okay, all right, and let's go on to number, see, or letter B, part B of 9. Says, does Steve need to find the part, the whole, or the percent? Well, in Steve's case, on the same week it says 7 of the 35 dogs he saw were boxers. So he knows the part and the whole. So in this case, Steve knows the number of dogs, number of boxers, excuse me, boxers that came in. So he knows the part, and he knows the number of dogs. That came in, so he knows the whole. That means he needs to find the percent. All right, let's move on. You guys will be doing number 10, so that'll leave me number 11. It says the registration fee for a used car is 0.8% of the sale price of $5,700. How much is the fee? So once again, we can set this up realizing that the sale price is $5,700. That's 100% of the sale of the price of the vehicle. Of that, 0.8% is the registration fee, and so we need to know how much is registration fee. To do this, we cross multiply. We're going to take, well, if we do this, we could say also that we have to divide to isolate the variable. So we're going to divide whatever I multiply to one side. Since we're dividing 5,700, we're going to multiply to the other. Now we have to take 0.8 and multiply to 5,700. So let's do that. 5,700 multiplied to 0.8 will give me, looks like 4,560. So I'm going to have 4,560 over 100. So I multiply these two and I have to divide by 100. That's what x is going to equal. Well, once again, I could just move my decimal over 2 spots because I'm dividing by 100. And this will tell me that my answer is going to be, well, x must be $45.60. That's the registration fee. Another way you could do this is to realize that the 0.8 divided by 100 is going to be 0.0, let's see, 08. You could multiply this to 5,700. And if you do that, I'm pretty sure you're going to get the same answer. Let's check that out. See, we have 5,700 times 0.008. And there we go, $45.60. So either way you want to do it, we're going to get the same answer. And we're ready to do number 13. Yours was number 12. Is 700% of 5 less than 10? Greater than 10, but less than 100, or greater than 100. Explain your reasoning. Well, the simplest way I know to solve this problem is to realize that when I'm dealing with percents, I can go ahead and turn them into decimals by moving the decimal place over twice. And that makes this 7. So really, this is just going to be 5 times 7. And that equals 35. Now to answer this, it says less than 10. No, it's not less than 10. Greater than 10, but less than 100. Yep, that looks like it is. Or greater than 100. No, I would have to say, let's see, it is greater than 10 and less than 100. All right, number 4 is yours to do, so I'm going to do number 15. The seed and skin of a typical avocado is about 30% to 40% of the avocado's weight. For an 8-ounce avocado, how many ounces of edible fruit does it have? Now, this is going to take a little bit more math than the others, only because I'm dealing with a range here of 30% to 40%. So if I do this, I'd have to realize that I'm talking about an 8-ounce avocado, which is 100% of the weight of the avocado. And I know that in some cases, there's 30% of it is the skin and the seed, which cannot be eaten. And I'd have to find how much of that avocado is not edible. Well, if I do this, I realize it's going to be 8 times 30 because I have to multiply 8 to this side. I'll multiply it to this side. Or I could even say this is 30 if I bring it back. 30% would be turned into 0.3. But I'm going to do it percentage way here. 8 times 30 is going to be 240. So this is going to turn to, let's see, let's put an arrow here. This is going to turn to x equals 240 over 100. And that's going to give me approximately, well, think about it, we'll move that decimal over twice, 2.4. So in this case, we have 2.4 is the seed and the skin, which means we have to subtract 8 minus 2.4 to find out how much is edible. Better do this the right way and line up my decimal points. And if I do, I see that I'm going to have 5.6 ounces that are edible. But remember, this is a range we're talking about. So in another case, 40% of it might be the seed and the skin. So I will have to do the same percentage here, but this time put 40% on top to give me my range. And this is going to be, well, 8 times 40 is 320. So this would be 320 over 100. And that's going to give me 3.2. Now I have to take 80 and subtract 3.2. Well, 8 and subtract 3.2, I'm sorry. And if I do that, that's going to give me 8. That'd be 4. So that's 4.8. So that tells me, let's see, how many ounces of edible fruit does it have? About, let's see, or anywhere from 4.8 to 5.6 ounces are edible. Okay, and let's see, we're off to number 17 now. Make sense of preserve. 153 is 9 or 0.9% of what number? Okay, tell which equivalent ratios you use to find the solution. 153 is 0.9% of what number? To solve this, I'm going to have to cross multiply. Let's see. Well, I know 0.9% is going to go over 100%. And that has to be equal to, it says 153 is 9% of a number. So that means it's not the whole, it's the part. And the whole on the bottom is what we're trying to find out. All right? So to do this, I have to cross multiply. That's going to go ahead and turn this into 0.9x has to equal, we're going to multiply this to this and then this to this, 153 times 100. I already know 0.9x can't be multiplied together, so I'll just leave that like that. But I can multiply these together. That'll give me 15300, which is 15,300. Now, I have to go ahead and divide away 0.9 so I can get x by itself. But whatever I divide from one side, I have to divide from the other side. Now I have 15,300 divided by 0.9. I'm going to get my calculator here to do this one. 15300 divided by 0.9 will give me 17,000. So x equals 17,000. All right, number 18 is yours. That means number 19 is mine. Oh joy. Mark and Joe work as jewelers. Mark has an hourly wage of $24 and gets overtime for every hour he works over 40 hours. The overtime pay rate is 150% of the normal rate. Joe makes 5% commission on all the jewelry he sells. Who earns more money in a week if Mark works 60 hours and Joe sells $21,000 worth of jewelry? Well, we're going to have to work both Mark and Joel's wages here to figure this. Well, let's start with Mark. In Mark's case, he's worked 60 hours, and it says that he only gets $24. It says Mark has an hourly wage of $24 and gets overtime for every hour he works over 40 hours. The overtime is 150%. So first of all, he only gets $24 for the first 40 hours that he works. So we're going to initially have 40 times 24 to establish how much he got for the first 40 hours. Now the other 20 hours, because 60 minus 40 is 20, is going to be established. Let's see, 20 is going to get multiplied to, well, he's going to be 150% of 100. And then we're going to have to add these two things up. So let's start over here. We've got 40 times 24. Let's see, 40 times 24. That's going to be 960. So he gets $960 for his regular wages. And now we have to take, let's see, well, we've got, well, I have to take this back. It was going to be multiply this, but we're also multiplying this by 24, aren't we? Because he's getting actually 150% of $24. And then we're multiplying that to 20 hours. A lot of multiplication here. Okay, let's start over here, and then we'll multiply the number of hours he gets to it. So we're starting here with 24 times, well, we multiply this to 150 and divide it by 100, or I could just say, I'm going to multiply 24 times 1.5. This is equivalent to taking away 2 decimal points, so this would be 1.5 times 24. This is going to be 36. I know that because half of 24 is 12, and 1 of 24 is 24. So I'll double check that with my calculator, but I'm fairly certain that 1.5 times 24 is going to be, 36. And now I can multiply this times 20. That tells me 720. And now I've got to add these two together to find out what he made. 960 for his regular pay. Add it to 720. And looks like he made, that's a pretty good amount, $1,680. Let's see how much Joe did now. Joe makes 5% commission on his jewelry, and he sold $2,100. So that's $2,100, or $21,000, excuse me. He's going to be multiplying that to, let's see, 5% commission. So that's 5 out of 100. And, okay, well, we could do that, or we could just say that it's going to be 2,100, or 21,000, excuse me, times 0.5. Right? I can either take this and multiply it and then divide it, or I can go ahead and just turn this into a decimal and then multiply it. So let's see here, we've got 21,000 times 0.5. That's going to give me 10,500. Doesn't seem right. 10,500. Let me check that one more time and double check my work. 21,000 times 5% would be, I have to apologize. That's going to be 0.05. Remember, we have to move that decimal over twice. So it's going to be 0.05. And that's going to be 1,050. Okay, that sounds better. Sometimes you have to look at your answer and say, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And for me, 5% of 21,000 shouldn't have been over half of what it was. So that told me I did something wrong, and I was able to go and recompute. So now I know that it's really 1,050, and since 1,680 is way more than 1,050, I can say that Mark let's see, made more money. He wants to know who made more, right? Who earned more money in the week? Yes, Mark earned more. This was Joe's work over here, so I'll label this Joe. And that is pretty much it. No more for me to do, which means the rest are all for you to do. Good luck, and I'll see you.